Hello, everybody. We're continuing on the study of Eruvin. We are in Daf Nun Amud Aleph. So we were discussing the question of if you had, say, your residences at the bottom of the tree, whether or not that works or not. So we said there's a difference between whether you said you are tachat, whether you're beneath the tree, or whether you said you're at its base. You said if you're underneath the tree, that's no good. You say you're by the base of the tree, that it's fine. The question is why not? Why one way or the other? I'm a rabbi. My time at the rab mishum lo masai matre. So why is under the tree no good? So the reason why Rad says no good is because you haven't defined a proper place. Therefore, it's as if you didn't establish affiliation at all, and therefore you're in the worst situation. My time at the rab we should do it. The issue is that since you try to determine a place that was too large. And the question is, are you referring to this side of the tree or the other side of the tree? We're not sure where into the tree it is, and that's the problem. Benai. What's the difference between the two interpretations that we heard in the name of Rabbah, of Rab's opinion? So if the person had said, I will acquire 4 from 8, so that works according to the opinion of. So that would be the difference. If the issues weren't specific enough for your location here, you have not specified which 4. You listed only for 4 of the 8. And according to the issue was that you determined an area that's too big, that's larger than 4 amot. But here it's okay because you determine the area being 4 amot if your location was not as precise as it should have been. Kufa. So we stated earlier, right? Amaraba Koldavar She'enu B'Zachar Zeh Fil V'Atachat They know. If you said something that isn't a continuous location, even if they're next to each other, that's no good. Yitzei Abai L'Rabba Hamarba B'Masrot Bertav Jakanin Masrotav V'Kolim. Right. So, but didn't we say that if somebody was separating Truma to Masra, and they separated too much, to the Kohen or the Kohen or the Levi. So then we say that means that your fruit is okay, but the problem is that your Truma to Masra are not. So what do you mean that it wouldn't work at all here? So so why is it the case that your fruit are still properly separated Truma to Masra? You should say that it's no good. No, there is maser. You could only teach for part. You could potentially only separate part of the true and maser for part of the produce at once. The EMR tikdush palga dorita kikcha. For instance, you only decide you want to designate half a grain of wheat to be separated for true and maser to work. So there too. Here, if you were to have done too much, it also would have worked. So as long as you've designated a sufficient amount, even if you over-designated it, that should be fine. And wait, so is it the case if you made a mistake and you over-consecrated, it can be a problem? What about if we're talking about Maser Behema, which means you to take 1 of every 10 animals? So there's no chance of doing a partial rounding up there. It's either a whole animal or not a whole animal. So Amar Abba, Yatir Shtaim Asiri, Quran Asiri, Vechad Asar, Mu'Rabin Zebazeh. And then Rabbah say that if you were counting the 10 and then 2 of them came out as the 10th one and you call them both 10, then you've got a problem because neither of them is valid to be brought as a korban for your Maser Behema. So what do you mean that you're allowed to over separate? Here it says you can't. No, Shana Maser Behema to eat them. No, the issue is by Maser Behema is that one of those was the right animal, one of them was the wrong animal. As you can't tell which one it is, therefore that's why it's supposed to be consecrated, and you end up with a problem. Similarly, if you had made a mistake and we were counting to the 10th animal from Maser Behema, right? 1 of every 10 animals is supposed to be brought as Maser Yerushalayim, then brought for the korban. So if you call the 9th one, the 10th one, the 10th one, the 9th one, and the 11th one, the 10th one. And then the numbers 9, 10, 11 are all considered to be Wait, but what about the case of a korban toda, where you can't, where by the 40 loaves it has, you can't make a mistake with them. You have to explain them if you did them properly. Itmar, we said about these were those Korbanot, the loaves for the Korban Todah, that Itmar Todah Sheshchata al Shmonim Lachalot, Chizkiah Amar Kuchu Allah Arba'im Mitoch Shmonim, Rabbi Yochanan Amar Lo Kuchu Allah Arba'im Mitoch Shmonim. So then there's Machloket, if you had brought 80 as opposed to the normal 40 that you're supposed to bring along with the Todah. So Chizkiah says that 40 of them are considered to be part of the Korban, the rest are not. Where Yochanan said, nothing has worked. Rather, you can't have things being consecrated, not consecrated simultaneously. Rather, you have it's as if you've done nothing so far. You still need to get your 40 loaves from. Hi, Marlamar Vizera. Akomo de Mecha Damar Ligachu Arbim Doch Shmaim. If you said 40 to 80 are going to be considered to be Kodesh, that would work. And he said, only 40 will not be considered to be part of the Korban Todah unless all 80 are. I agree that wouldn't have worked. Keep leaving stuff. The question is, if you simply had stated at 80, that's fine which ones are and aren't for the Korban. But Maltanai, I do know. One says basically you're simply saying that it's to make sure that you'll have 40 in case the other 40 disappear. So therefore, it's just like they're just insurance, and therefore we're really only meant to have 40. Since they know he tended to give a very large korban, in which case that's a problem. Right? This real concept is no good because you can't when you bring korban todah, it's 40. It's 40 loaves and that's it. No more, no less. And if you want to bring more loaves, then that'd be another korban. You can't call it the same korban. Amar Bai lo shano ela be'ilan shedaftav 12 amah, aval ilan she'ein 12 amah harei mikzat Beit Nikah. Bai then says about Rav's initial ruling that you have to define a particular occasion. It said that this must mean the tree had at least 12 amah underneath it. But if it's not, if it's less than 12, then it's clear enough that where he's going to be. If there's 4 amah underneath the tree, and therefore you'll end up. No matter where you had in mind, you'll end up having had at least part of the area it's assumed. Then Ravuna then Rav Yeshua asks, who's to say that you'll actually have any of them? Maybe you had them on all the first 4 and really the location in the last 4, so you're actually not even having whatsoever. And then which case you have nothing. So rather must be the case where the tree is 8 amot underneath it. Right? So this is 8, you could have completely missed. You could make the 4 amot that weren't the right 4. But if it's 7, then at the very least you're overlapping a little bit. Therefore, it would be a valid statement to make. Just the rest under the tree. We have a brighter supporting each of them. So if somebody's coming from the distance and then it gets dark and he recognizes a tree or a fence along the way and he says I'm going to be right beneath it, that doesn't work. Well, Imam our street at TV because I'm resting at a single location. We said the person said I'm residing at a specific location, not underneath the tree or underneath the fence. Then it would actually work as long as he was within 2,000 out of that location. We would say that he gets the whole area. What are we talking about? We're going to Shabbat Batel Shu Asar Tvachim Hum Merba Amag at that time. So when do we say that would work? You had a specific location in mind that was surrounded by walls, such as in case you were on a hill that was at least 10 tons off the ground and was at least 4 amot wide and was less than 2 BAYT in the area. Similarly, if you had if you're talking about a valley that was at least 10 tons deep, it was again between 4 amot in the area and BAYT that time in the area. which would be 500 square amo. But if he had not a defined location with set boundaries, he only has the dollar where he is at the time he states it, and then he does not actually end up acquiring residence at the next location. Again, 2,000 amos. There are two individuals who recognized the location and one who did not. So, if there's people going, one person knows the area, one person doesn't. The person who knows can say, I'm residing in a given location. And the other person can then give up the rights to that location, say, I'm going to be with this person wherever he goes. So, when do we say that word? So when we say that works, only if he actually had 4 specific amot in mind. If he didn't find where precisely, then it would be no good. So what should we say? This is the problem for Shmuel's opinion. Shmuel would respond, what's the case here? Going the most case must be we're between where you are and where the trunk is at 2004 amo. Because if you said I'm residing underneath the tree, you have meant the other side of the tree, and you would be stuck. Right? The question is, which 4 amos do you pick? The 4 amos closer, which case then it's okay. If you're just on the wrong side of the tree, then you actually can't go there, and then it's did nothing. So that's why that statement is not necessarily a disproof of Shmuel, and Shmuel's statement is still valid. Shmuel now we support a branch that specifically supports Shmuel. Ta'ab Eruv Shtei Ruchot. If you made a mistake and made an Eruv Tchum in 2 directions, Duma Shehum Arvin Lo L'Shtei Ruchot. As if they made him an Eruv in 2 directions. Osham Lavadav Tzuva Arvuli Achad Eruv. Love the Tzafon, Machad Erev, love the Daron. Unless Tzafon, Erev, Daron, Daron, Erev, Tzafon. You guys set up 2 Erevs, one to north, one to south. Whether you told them to do so or it's a mistake on behalf of your servants, either way, or you told one of them to do it, but said 2 of them went different directions. You only end up getting the area in between the 2 Erevs, but you don't end up getting the additional benefit of either Erev. And if he happens to, if the 2 tchums overlap doesn't include where he's currently standing, then he gets nothing. So when you say that statement argues, so let me say no. So shouldn't Rav be refuted? This is clearly his argument with what Rav stated, where Rav says that you can get away with that you'd have to determine precise location. You can't have it being uncertain at all. Rather, Rav Tanahu Palig. Rather, we say, why is it okay? Because Rav has the status of a Tana, and therefore he can argue with other Tanaim, unlike the rest of the Maraim, and that's why his opinion is valid.